Hi, I'm Jay Martin. I've been posting videos of my homemade photo books. This is the fifth one, and it came about because my wife recently retired from internal medicine. She had a practice for over 30 years. The last 20 years were spent at the medical dental building at 450 Sutter at Stockton. When her practice was emptied out, I took pictures from each of her 4 exam rooms and, developed the film and then printed some of the cityscapes. And the cityscapes reminded me of some things that happened to me while my wife and I have been living in San Francisco. So I wanted to show you the latest photo book where I put together some of these recollections or scenes in the city. In fact, the photo book is called Scenes and the City. I dedicate this photo book to my wife. Scene 1. Before the Penny Arcade, Musée Mécanique moved to Fisherman's Wharf 15 years ago, the ancient gears driving its rusting machines whirred in the basement of Cliff House at Ocean Beach. I walked into the arcade to jam my 2 bits into the slot so I could hear laughing Sal. She was 7 foot tall, robust statue of papier-mâché in hat, short jacket, and petticoat, and the reddest of curls. She jerked forward, her belly appeared to swell, and out came her guffaws, low and slow. And then she exploded into the grunts and shrieks that would put humpback whales to shame. The pimply teenager jerked his head away from his penny nude show. The honeymooning couple from Taiwan stopped watching the milking of the tinny cow by the creaking milkmaid. We laughed until the time was up. Scene 2. I was the only white guy at the Amitabha recitation in the Golden Mountain Buddhist Monastery at Grant and Sacramento. Ever the intrepid amateur photographer, I intended to shoot the nuns who sequester themselves in the convent. A tight-lipped attendant at the front door told me that I could not possibly invade the nuns' inner sanctum. I could go to the recitation instead. The price for admission was padding shoeless up to the chapel. Stationed at the far left corner of the chapel, reserved for strange older men, I tried very hard to keep up with the chanting, whose pinion throbbed with incantations of a wondrous Buddha. And I provide some of the lines of the incantation. As the mantra droned, I began to focus on sounds, not words. Notes went through my ears like calm winds on a hot day. The sea bobbed. A nun struck tinkly cymbals and walked the main aisle by me and then round as the fugue kept its beat. Incense of old tea burned, and the slow breaths from old folks were warm and stale. The time passed. We walked the slow march to eat the free lunch. Steamed white rice, green knobs of leaves, no salt, no spice. We chewed and took down thick stuff. I was only taxiing above, way above, my own spiritual plane. Scene 3. San Francisco public defender Jeff Adachi said, "We're rolling, just tell your story." We were filming Cinema Verite style, his documentary on the Kate Steinle death. 2 years after her death, we were on Pier 14, where Steinle died from the bullet fired from a gun held by Jose Ines Garcia Zarate. The gun was fired 5 weeks after I ran into Zarate, quite by accident, at the same spot on the pier. And 2 years after the filming, Jeff was dead under other inauspicious circumstances. The film is uncut. If you have the logon credentials, you can see it online. It starts with a privileged white dude, me, feeling sorry for the Mexican immigrant when I saw him shrouded in a dirty woolen blanket. The Bay Bridge shimmers behind him. I tell you in the film about the 6 murky portraits I took of a man and the bridge. In the pictures I took, the man's hands hold the fate of a woman, the same hands that would empower the rise of a fascist whose fall from power might take years. But it is now, not then, when I spoke to the poor man, and not the other then, when I was speaking about the man, the one who is still in jail. It is the same now, when the other man, defender and director, has a street named after him. Scene 4. From Pier 14, take BART at the Embarcadero station south to 16th Street and Mission. Get off and walk to Clarion Alley. See the walls covered with murals sprayed from rainbow colors to black and white, like film. White people like myself call the murals art, deserving dissertations and shows at SF MoMA. The murals call out racial injustice, migrant detentions, poverty, to name a few issues. Clarion Valley is one monument remaining of Latinx mission. I gaze at one mural peppered with white penises and ponder its meaning. 2 young white millennial women, whom I could have run into at Twitter, see the defacement. They text the artist to repair the work. As I leave the alley toward the boutiques, I know the ghosts of the mission will not be alone.